So I was one of the guests, okay? So I went there, but notice yena, I think she was doing announcements. I wouldn't say it was a love at first sight. It was just, and I was impressed to see this well-articulated, beautiful young lady. She was doing announcements, yeah. So I think that was then when I started to notice.
Okay. Oh wow. So I met my husband in I think 2008. Eskolweni. So we were in a student ministry, and he had came back from Eskolweni, SCPUT, for the second time to study. So we were chairperson organization, and I was the secretary. I remember, I think it was 2008, 2009, and we served together.
Proposal kwam, I think it was towards the end of 2009, because there is a World Cup 2010, I remember. Yeah, towards the end of 2009. I knew towards the end of 2009 that ikhona into ngoku esekudala kodwa isenzeka, because ke emva koba ndibuyele esikolweni, so ndaye ndasebenza naye kwi structure esasikhonza kuso. So it so happened that she was my secretary and ndandingu-chair. So ke yabona ku-chair no secretary soloko lo muntu lapha ecangkwakho. So you've got all the time to observe, you know, to look at all the traits that you've been praying for to God. So yeah, and it grew ke indaba yothando. It was not love at first, it grew over time. Towards the end of 2009, that's when I knew that this one belongs to me.
So what happened is we didn't date, right? He asked me to marry him, I think in 2010. So it's your typical brother and sister in the church, and I'm sure now I say as she wants to get married. So in between, obviously there's no dating. I never really, for me, it was never about church in the younger dating. I never saw myself, you know, going to every male to prove myself, Bana, I'm worthy of being married. So it was kind of not a surprise for me to get married like that. So I asked me to marry him in 2010. I literally was so scared. I was scared because I think I was 21, if I'm not mistaken. So the first thing I said to him was like, Buddhi, and I still want to pursue my career and so, but I actually fell in love afterwards, and I thought to myself, no, I need to say yes to this guy.
Dibana kwam no Sim, as I've had mentioned that it was at school. So working with her, xa ungumntu banezinto or more especially umfana ozaziyo uba ngenye imini uzawutshata ube nefamily yakho. So for me, I had already started, you know, gathering some information, reading some books, and also praying. So I think 2009 ndaqala ke ngoku ndiyayenza lento intentionally yokuba ndikhe ndim-observe lo sisi, but ke I had observed her from afar, because you know, njengoba singabantu abasindisiweyo, we are governed by also principles of organization esibakuzo. And we started praying. And I was sharing some of his indo and andizibona andizithanda kusimbi, because I think the first thing that captured the attention yam kuye uqala kwam umbona, that first day sends the announcements class service. You know, I think I was always attracted to kubantu aba confident in themselves. Because he was confident and well articulated, well spoken. And I was like, okay, I'm impressed that his structure sikhule ngolhlobo kude kubekho abantu aba so confident. You know, so amongst other things, she was well mannered, you know, and ingumntu ofikelelekayo, because sometimes abantu bayayijonga inkangeleko yomntu and then uyidibanise mhlambi nesimo umuntu ophakamileyo, nguphakamile ifani yakhe kodwa yena akaphakama. Then I approached umfundisi owaye overseerisha i-structure, and then I spoke to him. I told him that kukho le ntombi ndiyaphela yiyo ngoku, and we've got something that we call mission approach. Abantu abaninzi ke baye bacinga xa nisindisiwe uye ubonelwe kumfundisi okanye uyaphupha yonke loo nto, andiziphikisana ke nabantu abaphuphayo, mhlawumbi bakhona abaphuphayo, but ndamthanda mna, and it developed over time. So mission approach is this: you don't go straight to the person, you go through the pastor, and then nidityaniswe, udityaniswa kwenu, then uthethe le nto isentliziyweni. So that was the case with me noSim. So I went to the pastor. The day endadityaniswa ngayo noSim, sasine outreach eKhayelitsha. Ndabe ndizazi mntu uba ndine-meeting nomfundisi yoba ndiyomxelela umfundisi about le ntombi and so forth. So ndabashiya ke eKhayelitsha. I went to emakhaya kumfundisi at that time who was overseeing. So yeah, I think he arranged for the following week uba sidityaniswe. And then I remember the first impression she had. She was shocked when she got to emission ebona ubhuti Nelisa uche.
So from my side, I get a call from umfundisi, and uthi uba khona umfana udibana nami. I'm not sure noba bendandothukile okanye I was naive, because engqondweni yami it's like, okay, mhlambi there's someone who wants to see me, but ayikho into ethi ngubrother ufuna ucela umtshato. I don't know, I think I wasn't in that space soba ngabakho umuntu at that time onoza acela umtshato. I don't know, but yeah. And so I was writing at the time, and so ndathi kumfundisi no ndilinde ndigqibe, then we can arrange sidibane ke. So after ndibeke phone, then I realized ba sizi, if umfundisi uyafona and uthi kukho umuntu ofuna ukubona, I put two and two together. Obviously there's someone who's gonna ask you for marriage, and I got really scared. I was like, okay, why am I scared? Because ndingatsho masiba no if lo brother uyandicela. And I kept on thinking, but inoba ngubani lo uzandicela for marriage. Okay, so fast forward, umfundisi ndamxelela ukuba okay ndigqiba nini, then ke sa-arrange ke sadibana. So I took a taxi, went there, and ndifika phayana. I'm thinking to myself, immediately ndifika nangu brother uhleli pha. I'm like, hayibo. I'm like, hayibo ubunelisa. I'm saying it like apha enhlizweni yamba. No ways. I was so shocked. But I don't think I was shocked at the fact that but I don't know, but somehow I felt okay, mhlawumbe uzawufika lo mfana because ndanazo nezinto ezinjalo mhlawumbe uzile kutata kumfundisi and then lo mfana uzawufika.
So we sadityaniswa ke kumfundisi sancokola nosisi. You know indlela awayothuke ngayo yaphela iconfidence yathi vuka yaqonda hey yasebenza into yami yasebenza into yami walila and then wathi ke ufuna ufunda yena thetha ke nezinye izinto but ke isaphela ke sisithi no makakayothandaza. In fact wathi I think it was beginning of the year okanye it was beginning of the
around April or March kani.
I think it was around about that time. So uthi kum ke xa eniphendula uthi buti ndicela ubuyela kuwe ngo-August. Ndithi una ngo-August I can take it to live in that corner. Hey, andisafunda uyimosha ngoku. Cha hey mandiye kumfundisi ngiqale emfundisi andibulala lo sisi. Waseniphelile already. That's basically how we met. That's how I proposed to him. And yeah, here we are 10 years after.
So yeah, as you said, we were left together. So the answer that I gave him was based on being nervous and being shocked about umchato at this age, because I think I was doing my last year, maybe. Yeah, I was doing my last year. And I thought to myself, because I had dreams about up and ufunda, then I'll go to Pretoria and then difunde. So umchato was not in the picture at the time. So I'm like, Buti, 3 months, can you get 3 months? Can you change lento? And disafuna ufunda, disafuna ndazibalezi izinto. But all in all, ke wathi umfundisi nohamba othandaza. And as I was going out the quality, I remember telling you this. Something happened, I went back to what he said, because ubuti he laid down his heart. And you know, most us girls, you meet guys upper pandle and they will promise you, but okay, ndiyakuthanda, and you know, okay, I can't detain wethu because I can't do that. But there was something that he said, yabona ngoko a proposayo, and the I love you part got me thinking, but Rumfana, like I could hear it this way, but and that stuck in my mind. I'm like, I think he loves me, and I think there's something that he planted Ngoko's expressor and laying his heart. So I think I took 2 weeks, maybe I think 2 weeks prayed, but the love was planted and it was there, and I thought to myself, you know what, let me give this guy a chance. And yeah, that's our love story, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, I think it should be deliberate into yoba ufuna ukuyazi uba indoni lento umuntu wakhe afuna uba yiyo. Zindoni goals zakhe, zindoni dreams zakhe. Because I think along the way emchatweni zininzi into ezenzeke, and remember all hlobo sichata ngasichata singazani, so kuqala kufuneka nazane, then kuba khona xesha loba kubekho eza conflicts zinenza into bana umazi ngcono umuntu wakho, but ingalibaleki into yobana lo muntu lona wamthatha enamaphupha, wamthatha enezinto azinqwenelayo, enendawo ajonge kuyo. So it's always good also to revisit ezazinto xa senenitshatile, nibe namaxesha okuhlala ne revisit into bana because kuyenzeka into bana nalapha emtshatweni njengoba senitshatile ibe khona iphathi esilekhaya, fumaniswa the other part mhlawumbe umama uthandile umtshato, so mhlawumbe akasana ambitions ngoku ukuhlale phansi ngincokole naye mfondini ucinga ntoni ngamaphupha akho aloku ndadibana nawe mhlawumbe ufuna uba i-accountant umzekelo okanye ufuna ukuthini so ucinga ntoni ngamanye amaxesha ka ayiyo naloo nto yobana uye wawuthanda umtshato wasileka iba yinto yoba mhlawumbe aniqali lula mhlawumbe financially and otherwise so kube nzima ke ngoku into yobana nikwazi strike ibalance yobana ni pursue amaphupha ngeli xesha nisakha but kuyabaluleka ke ngoxa izinto ziyazi bangcono phinde kubuyelwe back to drawing board ba baby yakhumbula ba wawufuna ukuthi and then ke ngoku nikhuthazane nikane inspiration yobana hey go and do this thing kamnandi umuntu wakho xa usole uhlala nayo uyambona ke ngoku uyazazi nendawo oyazi into bana ungamkhuthaza ngazo umana umkhuthaza into bana hey baby you are very good at this and that so I think you can do this thing you know so it's very important as young couples into bana because ubomi cannot be centered around the church only and around the issue yobana ni ecaweni phine nibuye ubomi bu vast there's a lot to do there's a lot to achieve so it's very important that ningasleki you strike a balance kwinto yonke
I think he made a very important point apho ethi sometimes you need to revisit I think thina kolethi cala is that when we got married there was a module A1 that I failed so meaning that in 2011 when I had to I was supposed to finish 2010 so when we got married ndaqhubekeka ndafunda and it really helped me glow aspect because he pushed into bana ndiye esikolweni like ndigqibe and not think about the fact that ngoku nditshatile and uyabona that's that so and I think for him he was proud when I graduated even though there's not much that he did because last year but the fact that umama you know could come from East London as a graduator and for him uba I understand into bana umama wanted umntanakhe afunde agqibe and I had promised her that she will finish ufunda yebo andizomnqanda so that was the biggest you know achievement ngoku sasigqibotshata and also like even now there are certain things you know the small victories that we have in terms of career zethu in terms of him studying because I remember the following year sasinike chance the following year he went to do ilentuka yakhe BTech yakhe and he graduated so I pay phake lanto you know you revisit and then niphinde nibuyele kunba mamela baby into ethile zanguyenze right now he's doing any project akakayiqebi but we know into bani uzayiqeba yeah understand so for me it's always creating that opportunity for the couples into bana hlalani phansi nibonde ba okay siyaslekisha apho okanye wena uyaslekisha apho and I think individually also taking a responsibility because sometimes it's not even about the spouse hindarishe to do certain things but I think from enye elinye cala is that sometimes you slack because you think umtshato I need to focus emtshatweni and I need to do A, B, and C, and it's centered around umtshato. It's centered around going to church, as you said, but never really about reflecting. But before uchate ungusimvuyele, you understand, and there's a big part of you, that needs to, you know, come back. And now push into bana dreams zakho, you understand. If you wanted to study further, naye umyeni wakho will support you naye xa ebona into bana tyhini lo mntu lona nyhani they are trying their best ubana bapursuishe i-dreams zabo, whether it's a career or mhlawumbi ufuna ufunda. So I think that's the most important part into bana, in as much as it's a teamwork laa nto yokhumbuzana, but the individual also needs to, you know, take responsibility for growth. Yeah,
I think enye into ebalulekileyo is that you also look at the long run, and you think that most of abantu nathi sikhule kukho abantu abaphambili kunathi, and you look at abantwana bayakhula. Now xa ungazenzeli ubomi ngoku, like for instance ube ne-career wenze le nto uyithandayo, because I think ngoku xa nisenibadala it's no longer about ukusebenzela imali, it's about vocation. You do le nto uyithandayo, le nto iza konwabisa, le nto ufilisha into yobana even if abantwana bangabadala bahambe babe nobomi babo, but you've got something to do. Uyaqonda ungathiwa oko kwakuthiwa umama ka-Uzu sawushiyeke nalatheka maka-Uzu, u-Uzu ke ngoku akasekho mhlawumbi seyinobomi bakhe. So it's very important into yobana siphuphe as young couples, sibe namaphupha and then siwapursuishe amaphupha ethu, no matter how long they take, but as long as we persist and are consistent in pursuing our dreams. Yeah, communication is everything. You need to communicate emtshatweni ngayo yonke into. You know, kukho izinto ezingazenzekeliyo automatically, and kukho izinto ongasoze uzazi until introduce subject ethile uba makuncokolwe kuthethwe. And of course kukho izinto nizazi emtshatweni through uqabana, like for instance ingxabano yethu yokuqala usanda kwethu tshata, uqala kwami ke ubona hey uba tyhini uba nomsindo lo sisinayo. I think zezi zinto zenza i-communication ibaluleke, sihambile sisikhuphile. So apha ekuzikhupheni kwethu ke mna ndibone le watch khange ibe kwi-budget, but ndiyayithanda le watch, and imali yethu i-limited, ayikho ninzi. Siphumile nje endlini uba masambi siyotya, but akho nto siye sadicide uba sizayithenga. Ndiqonda hayi man ndiyayifuna le watch, ngoku ndiyaqonda uba ayikho indlela yokumngena because khange sithethe ngayo. Ngoku ndiza ngalaa nto uba le watch le asuzuyithenga. Yayingxabano enkulu. I approachwa ngendlela into yobana baby ndicela mhlawumbi le watch siyithenge xa sinemali, but ndiyayifuna ngoku. And then ke I think kwaba khona ukukhalala kwathini, but ukhalala ke ngoku kuza kwelami icala sihambe ke ngiqonda hayi ndiyakhalala ngoku.
Wahamba wena baby.
Ndiyahamba mna ndahamba, and only to realize ba apha kum andina wallet, andina mali, andina nix. Ngoku ndiyajikeleza mall ndine pride yoba ngoku ndizawubuyela njani kuye ndiyozithoba. So ndimile ke ngoku apha ndisacinga hey athi gqilo mna ngathi gqipha ndizingcumancumise nqonde enhliziyweni ndimanzi zinhloni, ngoba kaloku ndimshiye ndigqwashula nqonda hayi ndiyahamba mna xa le watch ingazuthengwa. But xa efika ke ngoku siyohlala phansi sayithetha le sesihleka ke ngoku, and then that's when you realize into yobana it's very important into yobana because we're coming from a different school of thoughts, and we sikhuliswe ngendlela ezahlukeneyo. Sometimes xa ufuna into awubi nandlela yokuyi-approacha, awubi nandlela yokuthetha nomntu, but uza ngalaa nto uba mhlawumbi uze ngala manipulative yoba because imali yeyakho. Ndiyayibona into ezinjalo. Because I think wayesanda kwenza internship, so she recently got paid. I think imali yayisuka kwelaa cala. So I came with that ticket. So zizinto ezo zifunda over ixesha uba kubalulekile noba nithethe ngezinto, ungafuni umanipulate umntu, ungafuni ukumblackmaila umntu wakho. So communication emtshatweni goes a long way, and there are also subjects that are very awkward emtshatweni. which I think we will get there. I think when we were not getting pregnant, you know, because we sihleli almost 8 years emva koba sichatile singafumani umntana.
But 4 years when we literally decided, okay, we want to be pregnant. Specifically the first few years, we didn't really, like, we were wanting to find out, bana, you know, in relationship here to
sasisakha lento because ke sasingazani, you wanted to know each other
first before bringing
someone. So I think 4 years, 5 years post that, it's when we started to be concerned and siyambo gqirha sisithini. So you know, xa nisazana nomuntu niyahlala apha endlini, uyambona uSim xa ekhathazwe yinto, ndiyambona uSim xa ekhathazekile. So ngamanye amaxesha funeka ke ngoku wena uzifune inoba yintoni le imkhathazayo kanye imtyayo. Indaba yethu yokungathi ngayo superficial ngaphezulu ingeyonto ofumanisa ba we delve into it, we sithethe in details, sizama ascertain ne feelings zakhe umuntu wakho. But at some point I realized into bana, hey, no man, lento lena ingathi, like thinking nezinto ubona umuntu ongumama and then uchatile yabona uyakufuna uba nomntana, singelixesha sesikufuna nyani sihamba ogqirha, you know, even those asisithi I know athi nogqirha xa siyeko yathi no sanuba na worry izawuzenzekela lento, but sijonga ixesha. And ke ngoku you cannot help it into yobana xa ubona abanye abantu abatshate emva kwenu hlebe ishushuzela nga2 uqonda hey yethixo usilibelo kanye. So into ezinjalo also siyabaleka ba nithethe ngazo, because into encinga ba yabusinceda, and we sat down and then I think I assured her that, you know what, when I got married to you, I married you because I loved you. We are not in control of what God is capable to do or not. So don't worry about me. Let naman be last worry yako, you know, and I don't want you to worry yourself about izinto sucinga kakhulu around into yokungakhulelwa nokungakhula. If uThixo uyafuna usinika umntana uzasinika, because I think iyanceda into ba before ube ngumyeni ube ngumzalwane. Yeah, ube ngumzalwane, because izinto ezininzi zibalula xa because ube nejeni yakho noThixo usingle. So unezinto zaziyo ngoThixo empilweni yakho. Now unezinto uncertain ngazo in your life, and God show up for you. So xa ukule union uThixo akakho isolated, he's part of this union. So I assured her that, baby, if God wants us to have a child, uzasinika umntana, but let's not strain your relationship yethu and try and think kakhulu and so forth. So communication is very key. Thethe nangento ezi awkward, yazi kuthethe nithethe nangezazinto ezi ningazuzimention.
So I remember in Dobana, as you were saying, Doba, we never really spoke about Mdana like intensely. So fast forward to I think 4 years later, after Chatile, I think I stopped contraceptives, and we were like, okay, we'll wait until the contraceptives is pumemzimbe. I don't think we had set time but I think after that time, and I think 2 years later, we realized like we're not conceiving and we don't know and so we went and did some tests, and they came back and the doctor was like, guys, and there's really nothing. So but that was the toughest time in bed, even though sometimes we wouldn't like share uba, like we would obviously randomly sithethe ngayo, but I think the communication part came into play when you as a woman feel into bana, hey, there's something wrong with me, ne? Okanye mhlambi, and I think the worst part is abantu from the outside. Ubona into bana, there's always that stigma planning a conceive into bana, oh, it's a problem, is the woman.
Zalani, when is that?
Those questions, but uzalani, oh, and you mustn't wait too long because you're getting old, and afunekanga uhlala ixesha elide emzini unga conceive, and that makes you feel inadequate, like you feel ndobana ingati fault yakho nyani, but it's happening, and you feel a sense of, you know, losing the confidence, and I'm the type of a person who always goes back to herself, because anything that is outside, I think you can control, but at some point in time, even the strongest of us, they get to us as in the Asia. So I think what reassured me was also not only my husband, because he was always there, you know, sithethe ngayo into bana, you know what, if God doesn't want us to have children, he would say it over and over again and reassure me. But if uThixo decides into bana azosinika umntana emtshatweni wethu, then we need to accept that. But umtshato wethu awuzonga bungumtshato because ungekho mntana. Umtshato wethu will still remain umtshato. And from my side as a husband, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. Like awungomnkosikazi wami because uzanika abantwana, yabo. And so for me, that created a safe space for me, because I know that position at the time is not like others. Mhlawumbe omunye umuntu ufumanisa into bana uphethwe kakubi because akakwazi ukuconceive, and so many other women who are going through that stage. But I think I've shared it on my status one time. I think the most important part for me was the reassurance from God to say, but you know what, it's not about you having a child. Anyone can have a child, but it's about you. You know, your character. I need to work on your character so that you can accommodate this gift that I'm about to give you. So then it went back to my relationship with God, Ndobana. Anything that you are waiting on God for has its own time. And even if akayenzi, it's still fine, it's still God, and you still his child, you still matter to him. So from there, I think la aha moment, I shared it with you in decision, you know, God dropped some things in my spirit, and from there on, I started to understand Indobana. Imeko yako haifani mnye umuntu. And so you must just take God at his word. He knows what he's doing. And I think from there, Kengoku, we were like, you know, living our best life. Pilela, yeah.
And you know, Fumana Kwetu was pregnant. That was
like
the list of things we were expecting. I think we were planning a trip.
Yeah.
The following year.
Yeah.
And so
we had
so Dandi sayenza kwenye clinic then. So ndiqonda mandizomthatha ngelunch yam ndidibanise nomnye ugqirha waye ephangela number, so sidibane ke ayenze yonke into ugqirha lo, but into angazange ayenze at that time immediately i-pregnancy test. So wathi semnike amayeza nendoni wambiza kwakhona wathi khawuze ndingiphandle ke mna.
But you forgot to say ba wena wathi baby ingathandi. I think ndikhanile, and you made a joke about it. Yeah. And I mean every, like when seasons change in their turn by fever must.
Yeah.
So but he was more concerned this time around, but baby man le fever yako and udiniwe, like it's unlike you to look like this. So no, he insisted, but and then he added, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Dude.
So that's how we never did pregnancy test because it was not something as delay.
Yeah.
So unbiza ke ngoku baby khawuleza ufika on afona doctor ne?
No, we like I think after the pregnancy test so ndayibona like I'm like and you believe like is this it? Yeah. Like there was a time in at some point the pregnancy test and I stopped myself because I saw indoba ingathi ndifuna uyenza okokoko. So I was like, okay, Simbuyele, and I needed to speak to myself, but don't do it. So I stopped even alone doing the pregnancy test and I'm like, okay, Jonga, just live your life. If not, then nizawuhlala, yabo. So at the time, a friend of yours did the pregnancy test.
Oh, Nancy, yeah, Kambula, yeah.
Your mother was there trying to joke. She's like, "You pregnant?" I'm like, "When?" And even now, like I called it flungu because I knew, but okay, I did it before, and then solo negative.
That moment was unbelievable. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it, and I think I stepped out of the room.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, "Baby," and then this one is like, babe, I don't think you knew Banandi. Okay, you expected nobody pregnancy test, but I was by 18 because you were like. But that day, strange enough, ingati khona into ayixelela kodwa this is it. This is the moment.
So
that was I wish you can like
but then it took us sithenge yethu
to really like
and then ngokakazukwazi uyenza neuzayenza kusasa the following ingayayinga kusasa ingobo so sithenge pregnancy
yeah 6 weeks plus ne
yeah
something like that.
So that's how it happened. It happened unexpectedly, and at that time it was
we were peace,
we were ourselves, we were happy. Yeah, so God is good.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting emotional now, revisiting the moment, how happy we were, how excited, and how you have no idea. Like we literally took pictures of la moment, but so God is really like for someone looking at our lives and thinking bana hey le couple has it easy. That was the defining moment, and that's where I saw you as a husband. But okay, I ain't chatting up because you stuck it out. Like you really like were there every step of the moment. I never felt indoba ndindedwa kula moment. I always felt my husband is here. Like even the feeling of abanyama omama babana. I literally went to baby showers. After like I went to baby showers, I would come back, I would be excited for others. Because for me, that defining moment of God saying, don't worry about it. He didn't say that nikumdan, but that reassurance 80, I'm just working on your character. Just wait on me. Then for me that was like, okay God.
And we have a little
cutie pie that we love.
Landmarks uthi xa hambe ezibeka ebomini bethu,
and it's always engraved in your hearts, but you never really forget. I look at us when we look at Uzedlala, we like sijongane and imbona ba he's looking like akajongile into edlala, but I see his heart ba wow, like he's really here, and I'm looking at him like wow. It's quite a
so those are landmarks of the journey. Izinto ezo ezikwenza noba when the going gets tough, you are able to look back and say, you know what, uThixo ulungile.
who's out there and like who's struggling to conceive, because I think there are a lot of couples who are facing the difficult, and I think I'm so glad that you guys touched it without even me asking about it, because it's a sensitive topic.
It is.
But I believe that someone can get strength from what you guys are sharing.
Sure.
Yes, like what would you say to a couple who's out there, they're struggling and they've been married for eternity and
they're not conceiving?
Yes, and they feel bad. Like, I mean, what would you share from a woman's perspective, and what would you share for the male?
I think the most important part, when it comes to any challenge that you face, a woman, is that you can doubt your doubts. That you can doubt your doubts, but never doubt God. And I think God has been an anchor in a time where you felt, as a woman, you are supposed to, bring the child in the relationship. And you feel it's not going to happen. Like, and kengoko nalomchado is centered around having a child. And as long as it's natural, like it's something that goes on in one's life. And no matter how grounded you are in Christ, but there are certain things that come and shake you just to make you build character in you. And I think into yongakwazi conceive to a woman even speaks to their core, like into yoba ude ucime fanba inadequate. Like, come on, as if who creates a human being. So I just want to say, Ndobana, it's okay to feel ngalondlela, but don't sit there. Don't make that your home. Don't be in that dark corner, because there's hope. Sometimes uthixo ezinye izinto, as we said before, Ndobana, mhlawumbe uthixo akazo kunika ngeli xesha wena ufuna ngalo, like ourselves. But he knew indobana uza kunika nini umntana. My husband always says to me, Indobana, baby, we want things from God. We want izinto, sizibone eziphathekayo. But sizifumana ezo zinto, and then what? Yeah, understand? Then what? So my thing is, Indobana, it must never eliminate the fact that you are in this institution that God has created. Because even the very same thing wefunayo, like umntana, comes from God. Like ayikho into that uthixo ayibekileyo in the institution angayiprovideli yona. So for me, it's just carry on with your life, live. Enye nenye into ifunayo, including having a child, iza kufumana endleleni, but remain in that relationship with God, so that ube grounded, and and find that strength in knowing that He is God, regardless of the fact that uyakunika umntana okanye akakuniki. But I think the most important part as couples is that le journey makungabikho foolish uba uyahamba yedwa. Walk it together. Reassure each other every single time, Indobana, we are in this together. Live your best life. Uthixo created umtshato so that we can, enjoy and be fruitful, and that fruitfulness is not dependent on izinto eninazo, including having a child, but it's dependent on trusting in God and knowing that He is able and that He can do anything that you ask for, but at the right time, or at His time, because sometimes we want things ngalendlela sisifuna ngayo, and we want things on basis yethu ba ngoku ndiyayifuna lento. But I can assure you, Indobana, umtshato umnandi regardless. It's to be enjoyed.
Mna into endinoyitsho is that ingangathi sithetha into enye, but I think into eyenzekayo as much as sometimes you blame yourself, you know, there are these expectations with societal standards, not only society in the secular world, but also within the church. You know, into elindelekayo into yobana xa nigqibotshata banabantwana banabantwana benemoto entle emoto entle benendlu enkulu ingathi zizinto ezibekela uba kanti ijeni yomntu uThixo uyayidesigna ngokwe-purpose yakhe nayo. Yabona uThixo ukuhambisa indlela ethile kuba efuna into yobana wakheke kube eza kusebenzisa mhlambi kwi-area ethile. So as much as it's hard komama, it's very hard even nakuthi singabantu abangotata. You know, singabantu imbewu isuka kuthi sityala imbewu. So I think it's you kind of like become too hard to yourself. Uba hard ngathi lento ayenzeki ngoba mhlambi ikhona into erongo. And I think nokuya kogqirha kukuya uyoqinisekisa noba mhlambi noba ikhona into erongo kum. But I think xa ndino-reiterate some words uSimazithekileyo is that God has got the best interest at heart for thina. uThixo uneminqweno emihle ngathi. You know, and you know, mna I think what kept me going always when I get to that part, I got to that part yoba Thixo kodwa inditya lento xa ndandisithi xa ndifikelele kwinto noba you know akho nto mna ndingayenza ngamandla am. I do everything that I can do. I go to doctors, I pray, you know, I ndiyazama uzenza zonke izinto ekuthiwa mandizenze, and that proves ke ngoku into yobana I have limitations. And now ke ngoku it's only you, God, you know, who can intervene, you know, and do in lendo. So for me, I think my strength, my comfort, I drew from God. You know, that's why I want to put an emphasis. It's very important to remain umzalwane. So chatile, you know, yes, zibakhona challenges there and there, zibakhona izinto. You know, umtshato ingomtshato omhle nomnandi doesn't mean azikho challenges. Those things are there, and those things they don't per se say umtshato awukho mnandi. So what basically I'm saying here is that ukubalekile uba ngumntwana kaThixo, because you know xa ufikelela kweza moments uphela ubudoda phela no, one of the things that I've discovered kule minyaka sihleli nonkosikazi, I don't know no amadoda wazunibetha na yes weak thina weak umuntu ongutata omama ba strong, and I think that's why uThixo wabona ba ibe ngumama othwala umntana 9 months. You can just imagine thina sesine fever ulala pha ufuna ulala 3 days yonke. Abantu abangomama ba strong, and kwenza lonto appreciate into bana Thixo akudibanise nomuntu ningafani but ni complementane. And I always thought ndi strong, but I had to admit kwinto ezininzi that yes ndi strong physically, but when it comes to emotions, mentally, you know, I might be strong mentally nakwezinye izinto and lead some projects and stuff nalapha endlini na out there, but kukho izinto ufumanisa uba zithi xa zifika kumuntu ongumama ufumanisa nyani lento yoba abantu abangomama zimbokotho ayo tem nje, but lo muntu wayeyithetha wabona something, you understand. So women are very strong. So for me is that remain a child of God. If you are a man who struggles to get a child, trust in the Lord. You know, if you have done everything that you need to do, trust in the Lord. You know, God is faithful. uThixo uthembeka siphelelwa kukwethembeka thina. You know, so umcingele into bana inoba Thixo unento ngakumwe. Because you know, once you tap out of that religious space and start to want to converse with God, then you realize by ungamxelela uthi kodwa wena Thixo ngathi personal. So yeah. I want to say thank you very much for being in my life, for your commitment in this thing that is called marriage. You know, you have taken out the best in me. In every moment with you, I'm the best version of myself. And I really appreciate the fact that you are yourself. Undenza ndizive ndingumuntu, you know, andizithandabuzi ngenxa yakho. Thanks for your determination. Thanks for your love. Thanks for your kind words, for your patience. You know, my wife is a very patient somebody, and she's very amazing. So I used to be alone, like I used to be single, but I can't imagine myself living life without you. So I'm really grateful to God that He has made our paths to cross, and I love you so much, and I want to do this thing side sibengamaxhagwazana sibona abazukulwana bo-Ozu, like abantwana bo-Ozu siyobabukela epakini sitotoba. Yeah, thanks my love.
Here 10 years later. God has really been faithful in our lives, and I want to tell you, Ndobana, I love you. I love every part of you.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the annoying, the crazy. I wouldn't want you to change for anything in the world. I consider myself blessed to have you as a husband. I've never met anyone who's so supportive and so present. Like, I could go through certain things, and in my heart I know, Ndobana, you don't have to be around, but I know your heart, because you're always there. Like, you're always supportive, you always, you know, reassure me that ukhona. So I want to thank you also for being a great dad to our son, and watching you guys, you know, playing and doing all these things around the house really makes me smile. Like, I look at you and I look at you and I cannot imagine myself doing it with any other person than you. So I want you to know that, you know, I'm here, and I'm here to stay, and that I pray that God, you know, afezekisa iminqweno yethu. And that every little thing that we talk about, that, you know, uThixo asinike iminyaka emininzi so that siyibone, you know, coming into existence. Zikhona esezenzekile, and I want to see more. But it's not so much as things, but for us to grow, you know, and love each other, and even more. Yeah. So I love you.
Love you too.
Are you crying?
I'll be brave.
Dalana.
But yeah,
He's very emotional.
No fair.
yeah,
okay. Yeah, so may God really bless you, bless your marriage as well.
Thank you so
and
much.
You know, and may you see also anything that you have in heart, you know, come to fruition, because I think it's huge, this thing, because now you are tapping to aspect. I want to, if there's one thing Satana if we could talk in religious and Christianity connect, because in mchato wakindo zonke, imichato yetu yakindo zonke. So I guess, you know, allowing yourself to be used this way mean you leave your children, you leave your husband. This is time. You hold in namhlanje, supposed to be at home. So we are so grateful, you know, to be part of this and being able to add some smaller value, and hopefully that it will add value to someone and impact someone positively. Thank you to you too.